Hello, welcome back on my YouTube channel. I'm back again with another video. I'm back again, I said, with another video. Thank you guys for liking, for subscribing on my YouTube channel. I really appreciate the support. And of course, if you feel like my content is for you, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Even if you are the new person, I'm sure you're gonna learn something from viewing my videos, as well as being a visitor, whether a visitor on my YouTube channel. So I'm back again with another video whereby I actually talk about a narcissist, uh like narcissist date people that they actually hate. Narcissist have friends that they actually hate. So it's more like narcissist date people that they actually hate. So when I'm mentioning that they date, because dating is not just something that only happened romantically. Even friendship, you gonna meet, friendship has date, you go out on a date with your friends. So it's something that is everyone does when they're actually having friends. So probably you go for gallery, an art gallery with a friend. It's a date, right? Or cinema, or anyway that you both want to go, so it's a date. So I'm talking about narcissists only have friends, only date people that they actually hate. Narcissist date haters. Okay, so I'm just gonna make a simple example why narcissists date people that they actually hate, because it's something that you'll be like, whoa. For example, if I don't like someone, probably I've never had any kind of don't not liking someone just because of the way they look or maybe anything. It's usually just their personality. I'm like, oh, I don't like this person, I don't want to be around this person. It's because I've seen how they treat other people, and I'm like, you know what, this is something that I don't want to associate myself with. So I avoid certain people. Sometimes energetically I'm like, you know what, my energy doesn't feel right around this certain person, because we are energical being. When something's off with someone, sometimes you don't even have to have a hello conservation, or any kind of conservation with them in order to understand that energetically these people are people that you need to avoid. So I'm that kind of a person. I just avoid any people when, especially when they feel weird. So narcissists don't do that. Instead, they see your light. They see that you are actually a person that like, they can tell that you are a person that worth having around. When I'm talking with being around, everyone is worth, but I'm talking about energy. Like, they know that they're gonna benefit from this person. They know that person actually, uh obvious, they do a test. For example, I think when I'm looking back, I'm studying what exactly made me being entertain people that I actually entertain in the past, especially both friendship and romantical. And romantically, I was like, you know what, I was overgiving, which is something that I still do, but now I have a lot of discernment. Like, I can tell, you know what, I'm no longer doubting my gut feeling when it's come to people. I can doubt when I'm pursuing something new because it's something new, but when it's come to people, I'm just very much away. So my healing just brought a lot of blessing, because it taught me to a lot of awareness about myself, a lot of my blind spot, a lot of my coping mechanism. So narcissist people only surround themselves with people that they actually hate. For example, of course, they do psychological test with you. For example, they test your boundaries, whether your boundaries they can trust your boundaries slowly. They don't just do it extremely initially. No, they test it first, and they first read you. Of course, their psychology and someone who's reading someone who is actually good with observation skills is different. They have a certain vocabulary, they have a certain way of reading people that is actually benefiting them. For example, they know when someone they read people, they have a skill of reading people and how they're gonna manipulate them. So most of narcissists, they have something that is actually common. They read how they can manipulate your mind. They read how they can make you normalize not setting boundaries with them. They, for example, with boundaries, they always use the intimidating kind of way of controlling. They intimidate you. They make threat. They care so much about reputation. They care so, when I say they care so much about their reputation, it means that you are not supposed to say anything. You're not supposed to have a word. They train you to walk on eggshell, and in any way, because I feel like when you actually love people, there's no way that you can exploit them like narcissistic people do. There's no way you can disrespect someone and end up wanting them to be quiet, wanting them to walk on eggshells just because there's no way that you actually can say you love someone without wanting them to have opinion in whatever. Because when you are dating a narcissist, whether it's a friend or what, you're not supposed to have an opinion. You're supposed to listen to them. They're so obsessed with dominant. They're also obsessed with being dominant, authority, that fantasy kind of lifestyle, dominance. They're also obsessed with authority. So anything that they say, you're supposed to follow, even if you can feel that their leadership is lame or shitty. You are supposed to follow, whether that person is a friend of yours. Was they have you initially I used to think like, oh, maybe she's bossy, and beside we're all imperfect. I used to have this friend, she was so bossy, like so bossy. And initially I was like, you're too bossy. And I was like, oh, this is like, she made it like it's something that it's something that she's aware of, and it's not a big deal. And I realized later that, okay, this woman was training me to feel like it's normal to be like this, it's normal to be like that. Because I was like, I don't like the way she does things, the way that she thinks, the way she uses people, and the way she responds sometimes. So she would be like, oh, everyone is not perfect. Like, she would use some word and be like, oh. And then, as I said, narcissists don't surround themselves with people that they love because they don't know how to love. The only thing that they know, they want to be surrounded by people who have potential. There's no way a narcissist being around someone that has no potential. They always know that you have a bright future. They always know that you are different from them. They always know that you are kind. They always know that you're generous. They always know that, as I said, you have a bright future. Because as much as you still lacking, you are not empowered to be what you are meant to be. They already know that. Like, they already know, but they don't want you to find out. They don't want you to find your worth. They don't want you to know your potential. Instead, the things that you are good at, they mimic them to others, while at the same time they make you feel less for being like that. For example, I used to be, okay, I'm a sensitive person. I'm still a sensitive person, but they always make my sensitiveness as something that is a flaw. They hated my sensitiveness, but my sensitiveness came with a lot of benefit. It was a gift that I was given from birth. So my sensitiveness comes with a lot of intuitive abilities. So they made me hate what I have, because they know that people who are actually sensitive, they can tell when something is off. Because when you numb what you're given, for example, being sensitive, and you treat yourself as if something that you don't have, you don't embrace it, you hate it, of course you're not gonna receive the benefit of it. Instead, you're gonna see it as something that is a curse, because they want you to feel like it's a curse. Because when you are in tune with the abilities, with sensitiveness, you can tell when something is off. You are very much in your, they're always trying to, being sensitive has a ability to make you have a lot of discernment. When you have a lot of discernment, when you align with your abilities, what happened is, you know, when something's off, you just, you know, like, you know what, it's off. And then you, for them, they know that it's something that you have, it's something that they have to destroy in order to exploit you in whatever way they can. So narcissists don't have friends that they love. As I said, they don't even love themselves. So when I say narcissists date people that they hate, I mean, it's because they kill the character that you have in order for them to have their character in others. I mean, when I say to in others, because they're trying to make you feel like shit with the character that you have. They, as I said, they will hold a lot in terms of affection, love, validation, appreciation. When we're, they don't even congratulate you in any kind of achievement. They just make it like it's about them all the time, you know. So when they do that, they want you to feel bad for what you have, but at the same time they are practicing what you have in others. Like, for example, you're a good person, they will be horrible with you, especially whereby people they don't see. They'll be horrible with you privately, but public they mimic that behavior that you have, that they were trying to kill in you with others. They do that. It's something that they are good at. So you will find someone trying the same thing that you have. Like, for example, it can be a small thing in myself. So for example, when you're someone who okay, let's, we're trying to change a career. Probably you want to be a YouTuber, and then, you know, a lot of people who are on YouTube is because they come on YouTube because they want to share something, right? They are gifted. Everyone is gifted. It's whether it's depend on you how you choose to use your YouTube channel. So it's because you are, maybe you're interested in makeup, maybe you're interested in speaking about anything, you are interested in dating, being a coach, dating coach, or anything that is actually aligned with you. And then your narcissistic friend or a parent whatsoever, what they do, they make you they make you not wanting to be a YouTuber. They attack your confidence, they attack your self-esteem, they attack you in order for you to stop having a YouTube channel. By that time, secretly they are creating their own YouTube channel to do the same. That's what I'm trying to say. They kill your character, they want you dead, whether with, it's depend how they want you dead, whether they want you dead to, in order to not knowing your wealth, not knowing your potential. They want you, your character dead, in order for you, for them to inherit your character. That's what they do. So that's why you find when you are actually starting something, for example, I know a lot of people, they see it's something that is small and it doesn't mean anything. Do you know those people who try to copy you? Like, when you're buying something, they have it. Initially, you'll be like, oh, just because it's something that is very pretty, or very, like, you know that the bag is very pretty, everyone is happy, so you won't notice. But every time you're trying something, they do it, and you'll be like, what? Mind you, they were mean when you actually like that, because you were true to yourself. So they don't have a, what I'm trying to say, narcissists don't have a character. Narcissists don't have they don't know who they are. That is connect to who they are. They don't have any kind of connection. That's why most of them, you find them are religious. They're using religion in a wrong way, in a way that it manipulates other people. They use religion in order to be able to be in control. That's why you find a lot of pastors that are actually narcissists. Is because, as I said, narcissists, you won't find a lot of narcissist people alone. Narcissist people always are being around people. It's what they want. They get supply for being around people. They drain people, whether they drain people negatively or positively, because they don't care whether the supply of energies come from a negative. For example, as long as you react it. they only care about reaction, because when you're actually reacting, that means they still have power over your mind, they still have power over you. That's what they do. It's all about control. They want to control you, and they have a very obsession with authority. For example, when I actually stopped talking to my narcissistic father, you know what he said? Look, we already have no connection, right? He was not part of my life and he was absent. So I was like, it never bothered me much. But when he's trying to be present, yo, his presence was really awful. Like, I even wish that I've never known him. I wish that he never came back, and all of that. But obviously, because I've known that his existence is suffocating, him being present is suffocating in my life, so I limit interaction. But at the beginning of this year, I was like, you know what, he need to go. Because wow, that man, wow. So, and then what I did when I stopped talking to him, you know what, the conversation that we actually had lastly, he said to me, I don't know who, he said, I don't respect him anymore. I don't see him as anything. And I was like, so he's gonna ignore everything that he has done to me. He's gonna ignore all the abuse that he put me through. He's gonna ignore how he made me feel. He's gonna ignore everything that he actually did, and how his presence was suffocating. He's gonna only focus about on his reputation. That statement, it was him, because I said they're obsessed with authority, dominance. So his issue was the fact that he can't control me anymore. He can't have any kind of authority, because they're obsessed with superiority. They want people to believe that they have superiority. They are above other people. That's what they think, which is weird, because I don't believe anyone is above anyone. We're all equal individuals. We're all created with a different mission, gift, purpose. So it's up to us, how do we find our own purpose. So what I was like, this guy, I was not angry. I was like, when I actually let him go, I already had a lot of peace with limiting, with the fact that I actually limit interaction with him. I was already at peace with a lot, but that cutting him off for good, it felt so great, like so fucking great. Like I've never like, and I've been said to myself, even that limiting interaction with him was not even worth it. He only deserved to be cut off for good. And I'm talking about things that are actually like that. Like it peacefully when they're gone. Obviously, when you starting cutting them off, you feel like you're making a big mistake whatsoever. You feel so guilty, because even if you're making the best decision, you're still gonna have that feeling that, are you doing the right thing, questioning, but you know intuitively that you're actually making the right decision for letting them go. So as I said, Lemon was only care about his reputation. He only care about authority. He only care about how I actually view him, rather than how I how he can actually make it work, how he can actually listen to my own needs. He only care about his needs. The fact that he, just because he was a sperm donor, probably he was a sperm donor, because as I said, he was never present. Like he never contribute anyway, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, as well as financially. So he was absent. When he tried to come, he used to come with bare minimum, and that bare minimum, it was for that time being, once in a year. That kind of bare minimum. We'll be like, whoa. And we think like, oh, you end up making, suppose they are teaching you to make excuses about them. They are teaching you, they're constantly training you, or constantly in training when you are with a narcissist. That's why they say the only time that you will ever win with them is to let them go with no contact. that's the only time that you actually be like, you know what, finally I've made a great decision, is letting them go, cutting them off. There's no way that you can actually win with a narcissist. As I said, narcissists only date people that they actually hate. The character that you have is something that they're jealous of. So what do? They kill your character in order for them to inherit that character that you have, and come up as something that, and come up as if this is what they have. Because when you both come together, like for example, a friend is trying to mimic you, and you mimic you, and they end up being good in mimicking you, but obvious because you are being yourself, you know. So when you are being yourself, you're evolving, right? Because you know that this version need to die in order to reborn with another version, because we are constantly growing every day. We're constantly, if I'm not talking about narcissists don't grow, they only grow financially if they can, but not all of them, you know, grow. So they only grow financially most of the time. This is something that I've noticed, and they grow a lot in terms of their status. Probably they always have lucky to get a leadership position. I don't know why, how, but they do. They're always lucky to get such positions. So yeah. So as I said, when your friend is trying to copy you, in order for them to be good in copying you, they have to kill your character. So because people will be questioning who is who is actually genuine, who's actually fake. You know, that's why they kill your character in order to come off as someone that is weak. When you have a narcissist people around, you love you as the most weak one. The other people will all admire the character that you have, that you are mimicking. So it's always like that. So when you're showing up, both of you having the same character, there's no way they know that they can't win because it's something that you who you are. As I said, they don't know who they are. They're just lost souls. So that's why they try by all means to make sure that they go to people who have a potential to be something. They don't just go to anyone. If you don't have something good in you, just forget about narcissists having you around. That's why the only time that you find them narcissistic together is because they they are tired of wearing a mask around you, around people. So they know that you're okay with people who actually like them. So they're being nasty, like they being nasty, being torturing other people, exploiting other people, making other people miserable. It's something that give joys to them. So that's why you find them around together. That's why you be like, oh wow, they're mean, and they be like, I used to, cause example, my father, all his friends are horrible as him. So I'm like, oh, that's why he's around them. It's because he can take the mask off. But of course, there are also those those people that they are actually around him that are kind, and those who are actually around him that are actually kind, they are they don't know their potential, because my father is killing them in terms of their character. Instead, he wanna shine. As I said, they're obsessed with spotlight too, so they wanna shine. So his friend, they don't believe in themselves. They feel like they feel inferior while he's going around mimicking what other people's personality. So that's what I'm trying to say. So narcissists only date people that they actually hate. Remember, dating is not only romantical. I'm talking about friends too. So thank you guys for liking, for subscribing on my YouTube channel. It's getting dark and it's already autumn around here, and I'm making this video. It's around it was 5:30, but it's dark now, so that way is changing it changing it light. So thank you guys for liking, as well as for subscribing on my YouTube channel. So I really appreciate your support. So thank you.